Hey up YouTube, it's Theme Park Bazza here. So as you saw from the title of this thumbnail, we bought a house. And it may be a money pit or it may not be a money pit. In this short vlog I'm going to go through and just show you all the things wrong with the house that we bought. And we'll see how things work out. So let's start. There's really three major issues with the house that need fixing immediately and the rest over time. But let's look at the three major ones first and we'll head into the garage to look at the first one. So this house was built in 2006. It's been a rental house, and to be honest, it's never been looked after at all. So what we're starting to see here is a number of the things that are wrong with a 14-year-old house. And the first one here is the air conditioning unit, which is 14 years old, and I don't know if you can see that there at the bottom, where there's been water leaks, and that black stuff is mold. Yes, mold. Now that might freak you out a bit, seeing mold, but that's quite normal in Florida with it being so humid. But if your air conditioning unit is well looked after and maintained and you don't have leaks, you won't get mold, but they didn't do that. So we're going to have to look at this. And we'll go outside and look at the other side of the air conditioning unit. There is the other half of the air conditioning unit, and it doesn't take a rocket scientist to work out that this is done. It is quite old and it is quite past its due date, so we're going to have to replace it. The other area that is of concern, and I don't know if it comes over well here on the way I'm shooting this, but I don't know if you can see, but there's bulge there on the back of the wall. These all come up from the home inspection, but basically there is water penetrated the stucco. So in America, the bottom half of this house is brick with like plaster on it. The top half is a wood frame with mesh and the plaster on. The water's got behind there and got behind the stucco. The only way to remedy that is to take it off and replace it. And the thing is, once you go into it and take it off, you don't know what's behind there. So this initially, the estimate we got for this is $6,500 to come in and remove the stucco, replace it, paint it. But we don't know, it could be a lot more than that, but that's one of the major issues on the house. And as you can see, the air conditioning is still, well, it's yellow now. I think this thing's been smoked in and lived in this house. And if we look behind the vent in the living room and we take this filter out, in there it's all had water damage and that is mold in there as well. So cost for replacing the AC system with a modern system that's going to keep it fresh and stop the mold is around $9,000. Cost to get a mold mitigation people in, they run kind of a process through the house to clear out the mold, is about $1,000. So you're already at $10,000 for the AC and $6,500 for doing the stucco, just to start with, before there's anything else. So as you see, there's really three major issues on the house. There is the mold, there is the AC unit that caused the mold, and there is the stucco, and hopefully when they take all that off, there is not damage to the wood frame behind, or the wood frame would have to be replaced as well. And let's look at some of the other things in here that really need, I'll give you a full tour on a separate vlog, but let's look at some of the other things that are going to need doing, not right away, but really are going to need doing in the near future. And these are the states of all like the light fittings, so they're all going to need replacing over time, and they work, but I mean, you just don't like it. And I'm sorry, Lee from the Lodge guys, if you're watching this vlog, because you'll be cringing. So number one is carpet. As I say, this house is a rental. It smells because it's been rented for 16 years and probably not cleaned properly for 10 of those years. So there is the carpet through the bottom and the tile. If you live in Florida, you know carpet's not a good idea, especially this is the dining area where the dining table goes. I mean, you just don't put carpet in the dining area, do you? Maybe you did 14 years ago. But this is all going to need taking out and the tile replacing on the bottom floor. And, you know, estimates to do that. I haven't got any estimates yet. I should get some soon, but I'm thinking that's going to be a $30,000 replacement to put tile down here. So that's a big ticket item as and when it's ready to be done. If we walk through into the kitchen, the other thing is the appliances. All the appliances work today, but they all are 14 years old. Sorry, 16 years old. So they will all, no, they're 14 years old. It's 2006 house, 14 years old. So they are going to need replacing. And the one that's going to need probably replacing earliest is the fridge freezer. And the reason for that is I used to work for a company that make these. And if you replace them every 4 or 5 years, they usually pay for themselves in the energy savings and increase energy savings. But when you look at this thing, it is just pretty nasty on that side. So sorry about the light flickering, I'll be quick in here. Yeah, washer and dryer. Absolutely gross. We did get these with the house, but they are going to need replacing as well pretty soon. I don't think Maxine's even going to touch those. And upstairs as well, up here, all carpet again. I don't mind carpet upstairs, that's okay. But we're going to have to get basically all the carpet upstairs, downstairs, everything steam cleaned. And just generally, the house is filthy. The windows are filthy. I mean, look at this. This is like, I don't even want to think about what all this is down here on the wall and on the floor. But this is the state it was in. So a lot of that is cosmetic. You can clean things. You can replace things. But why do we go and buy a house like this here with all these problems? So why did we buy here? Well, it really comes down to location, location, location. You're best to buy the worst house on the best street than the best house on the worst street. When we sold our house in Virginia, which was a much bigger house, but in a quiet area, we looked down here. We've been looking probably 30, 40 houses, and thank you, those of you who I was bugging and trying to get your input on some of those. And the challenge with Orlando is where we've been looking. Orlando's got an airport in the middle called MCO that we all love, but as you'll see from this map, there's a lot of planes. They come in at all different angles, and every house we found had aircraft coming over you with wheels down. It was like constant, and these are the quiet times before the tourists come. So we were really, really struggling in all the areas we were looking, and then this place popped up. And we weren't really looking up here because just across the road, the other side of the road, is a very expensive area. It's like $1 million houses that we can't afford. And this area where we are now, houses here are a lot more expensive than we paid for this one, but it's in a good area. And why is it in a good area? Well, it's about 15 minutes from all the different theme parks by car. If you were to draw a line directly from Cinderella's castle to this house, it's about 2 miles, which means, well, A, you'll be able to see the fireworks from the house and hear them as well, but you're really in that catchment area of Disney for people who want to live here. And so it gets very expensive, and the closer you get to Disney, and this house is a lot closer than ours, and you know, a more direct view of the fireworks, the more expensive it is. So we had to make some choices, make some decisions. The other thing is as well, we wanted something smaller, like 3-bedroom, but all the 3 bedrooms tended to be like townhouses or you know, which are terraced houses over here with and the walls are paper thin with neighbors. We're used to our space in Virginia, so we decided that it was about 30% difference in the price to go for a detached 4-bedroom as to a 3-bedroom terrace. So luckily, when we sold our house in Virginia, we've been buying houses for 31 years, and we've been cashing in and cashing in and cashing in. And when we cashed out of Virginia, and because we've been there 13 years, we always paid off, you know, normal mortgages, paid them off. Basically, the cash we got out of that paid for this house, and then we have some savings to start working on some of the things that needed doing. So number one, it's a good area. Number two, for resale, it's pretty close to Disney. And number three, there was another reason that we like this area, and I'll try and remember what it was. Let me think about that as I stand out here. Oh yeah, the view. You have no neighbors behind, you have a beautiful lake view, you can walk around, there's a park over there. So this was the kind of what they call the $1 million view, and I'll just give you a quick pan of that. We do want to fence this in eventually as we get a dog or a cat and do some work out here, but again, that's future phase. So I say worst house in the best area. This house sold in 2006 for around $120,000 more than we paid for it now. So it's dropped dramatically, and that wasn't because the house is bad, that was because of the fact that the financial crisis hit in the late 2000s, and a lot of these houses here in Disney were overpriced and crazy money, and so it settled them down. But we think it will go back up again, and we're hoping the investments we make will pay back off over time. So this was done with a business decision as well. So yeah, all is good. We will keep you updated. Fingers crossed that when they start the work on the stucco, that doesn't derail everything. But join us on this journey as we take this, I'm going to say diamond in the rough, but maybe it's rough we're going to turn into a diamond. So thank you for watching, appreciate it. If you like what we do, please subscribe, it does help the channel. Please press the like button if you like, and add your comments below. Tell me what you think about the house, some of the things, some of the choices we're going to make in the future. What I didn't mention as well is there's like all the worktops and all that's going to need doing at some point, but one bite of the cherry at a time, because we just can't we can't do it all. Okay, thank you for watching. and we will see you later.